What's your assessment of this sudden focus on Ghislaine Maxwell, as if she is going to be the key and suddenly everything's going to be explained?
I think they're right to focus on her. I do share Tom and Lisa's hesitation here that she's going to tell the truth. She has a history of lying. And her primary incentive here, I think, is really to stay out of jail. I also want to add here, Chris, it is very, very unusual for a deputy attorney general and not a career line prosecutor to be conducting this type of session with an incarcerated individual like Ghislaine Maxwell. The other thing that I think is worth adding here, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk a little bit more about the Wall Street Journal piece in a bit, but I have a lot of questions along the line of what Tom Winter laid out. I want to know exactly, now that Donald Trump we know that he's been mentioned in these files, we don't have the context. And I think that is worth the public and the base learning a little bit more about. We also don't know, Chris, anything about the First Lady based on this Wall Street Journal reporting. And we know, based on videographic evidence, based on photographs, that the First Lady was friendly with both Ghislaine Maxwell and with Jeffrey Epstein. And I think the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, they can clear that up right now by releasing even more information about the context of the president or the first lady's involvement, even while they conduct these other type of proper sessions and consider whether and how to release additional information.
Yeah, and again, I want to keep saying that just being friends with someone who has been convicted of nefarious acts doesn't mean that you knew anything or in any way did anything that was illegal. But let's go back to what's happening right now, because I want to bring in NBC's Matt Dixon. He is on the phone for us from the Tallahassee courthouse, where that meeting is expected to take place, if it isn't already. What can you tell us, Matt?
Yeah, I'm in front of the courthouse right now. Tallahassee, Florida has sort of randomly become the epicenter of the Epstein saga as of today. Right now, Maxwell is inside the courthouse meeting with DOJ officials, doing the interview that they had talked about first a couple days ago. We actually expect to go most of the day. We anticipate that we'll be inside the federal courthouse here in Tallahassee until at least later on this afternoon, and we're just going to wait until she leaves. She's been in Tallahassee since she has been in detention. There's a federal women's prison here where Maxwell has been housed for a few years now.
Can you tell us for sure, do we know that Ghislaine Maxwell has arrived there? Because we didn't know if she was there yet.
Yes, she's just talking with DOJ officials. That was first broke a couple days ago. And she's currently inside the federal courthouse.
Do we know how many people are in there? I mean, I assume Ghislaine Maxwell, obviously, her lawyer, Todd Blanche. Do we know anything else or about anyone else?
Or an exact number of people, that I am not sure, but there are certainly several attorneys from her legal team and also the federal government.
And how would you describe the atmosphere that's around that courthouse? I spent a lot of time out there during the 2000 election aftermath, but I haven't been down there since. What's it like there right now?
I would say significantly less media presence than 2000, but there is certainly a significant media presence here. So far, there's no third parties or folks who are coming to check it out or even sort of protest or anything of that nature. Right now, there's a fair amount of media assembled outside of the federal courthouse here in Tallahassee, but there's many hours to go here, so things could change as the afternoon progresses.
Well, if you see anything, if you hear anything, let us know. I'm seeing our folks here on set who are texting and comparing notes. Is there anything else you want to add
to each other, to be fair? Interrupt you.
I mean, I will say, Chris, it's a little bit of a mystery to me why Ghislaine Maxwell is being interviewed at the courthouse. Tom was sharing with me that the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Florida is there, but the Federal Correctional Institution, which Ghislaine Maxwell is now housed, FCI Tallahassee, is not adjacent to that courthouse. It is several miles away. Usually, if you visit somebody who is a prisoner, you visit them at the prison. There are rooms there for them to meet with attorneys. I myself have visited clients in a federal correctional institution. So it's not clear to me why the Department of Justice didn't go to visit her where she resides. Instead, they took her out of federal custody, brought her to the courthouse. That suggests to me an accommodation that wouldn't ordinarily be met. But then again, there's nothing about this meeting that is typical or ordinary.
So typically, even though an inmate would ask for that, you could understand why they'd want to get off the prison grounds and at least see a little bit of what was going on. Typically, you're saying that would be denied?
I wouldn't say it would be denied. Again, there's nothing typical about going to visit a federal inmate by political leadership at the Department of Justice. However, to the extent that inmates are taking legal visits either with their lawyers or representatives of the government, oftentimes that takes place within the correctional institution in which they are housed.
Okay, Tim, Anthony brought up that new Wall Street Journal reporting that the president was told weeks ago by Attorney General Pam Bondi that his name is in the Epstein files. The Attorney General issued a statement in response saying, nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, and we have filed a motion in court to unseal the underlying grand jury transcripts. As part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings. So I guess not exactly a denial, although a DOJ official told NBC News they could not confirm the report. Look, it would not be a shock if President Trump's name was in the files. They were friends. Both of them have said they were friends. Is Trump and his administration, are they complicating this? Could things have been handled differently? You know, just say we were friends. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if my name was in there.
I mean, things definitely should have been handled differently. It's hard to say how much they're complicating this without knowing what exactly is in the files and what exactly they found. Here's the issue for them right now, is this has turned from kind of like a base management media narrative issue to a cover-up, like to a traditional cover-up that we've seen, you know, from presidents in the past that has ensnared a lot of presidential administrations. This is the Wall Street Journal story is so important because it changes, you know, the narrative from you can recall maybe a week ago what Hakeem Jeffries was saying. Well, they're either lying to you then or they're lying to you now. Well, now we know that what they're lying about, which is the fact that they know that Donald, the president of the United States, was in these files regarding the investigations into a convicted child sex trafficker, and they won't tell us what's in there, and they know that he's in there, and they won't tell us what it is. So, and I think it's a traditional cover-up. It's a very important development in the story. And I think the other thing that's just worth mentioning, like, yes, it is true that just because he's in there doesn't mean he's guilty, and there are plenty of people that are in there that who knows what they actually did. But with regards to Trump specifically, I mean, Epstein's girlfriend, Stacey Williams, has accused him of groping her. Now, she was overage, but like she's said directly that she went with Jeffrey Epstein to Trump's office and that he groped her. And so, and then we also know that one of the Epstein accusers in 1996 mentioned Donald Trump when in an interview with the FBI. That is now out there. So like we know that there are direct accusations about improper behavior. We don't know if they're in the files that were reviewed by the DOJ, but at some, you know, in the past with regards to Donald Trump and Epstein.
So, Tom, you wanted to make a little clarification.
Just
1 second, I'll get to you, I promise.
Just so everybody understands, I mean, we knew about a decade ago that Donald Trump was in files or records or civil suits or police files that are associated with Jeffrey Epstein, and there's been no accusation of any wrongdoing, criminal wrongdoing by the current president in those files. So that's not a new revelation. You know, I remember sending a note when Elon Musk a couple of weeks ago put on his social media platform, by the way, Trump's in the Epstein files, and the timing of that, by the way, when this meeting took place is certainly interesting, but it was well known for some time. I just want folks to know that is not the new revelation. What the Wall Street Journal's reporting is that Trump was personally briefed on this, and then the timing of the events that have come after that, the Wall Street Journal points to some questions as a result.
Anthony, were you trying to get in here?
Yeah, just really quickly. You know, the Wall Street Journal has had not one, but two really good blockbuster stories on this matter over the last 10 days or so. And what we've seen from some on the right is just this intentional, vicious attack to undermine their reporting. Because I just want to understand, based on somebody who has run an office at the Justice Department, I just want to underscore how well-connected and well-sourced the Wall Street Journal is at Main Justice and throughout the FBI. And I give you a data point. When Attorney General Garland decided that he was going to appoint a special counsel counsel to investigate Donald Trump. The Wall Street Journal scooped that story on the morning of that announcement. And, you know, I was running the Office of Public Affairs. Was I bothered by that? Yeah, I was bothered by it. But that did not give me license. No, we did not sue. And I didn't also lie to the Journal or to the American people like the White House and like the Trump administration is doing now. And that, I think, is why we are seeing, you know, how his numbers are going down with his base, because they cannot trust what he's saying. Donald Trump continues and his people continue to play his base and the American people for fools, because they're not just telling the truth and shooting straight with people. This drip, drip, drip is what's causing them to not really be able to turn the page and try to get on with the business of governing the country.